Okay.
Uncle Phil, happy birthday. Over to you.
We feel very fortunate to have shared many special life moments together with you too. And like New Year's Eve at Knowlton, cottaging at our Smith Cottage, weddings, honeymoons, babies, grandbabies, and just getting old together. We've traveled the world with you both. We've learned many things from Philzy.
And we have to go way back to remember one of the first things I learned from you, Uncle Phil, was how to disconnect the odometer and speedometer from a rental car in Switzerland. I mean, the great thing was that we didn't get charged for the mileage that we put on. The bad news was that we had no idea how fast we were going, and we were going pretty fast. So that was an interesting time. The other one was how to draw a line in a bed so that neither one of us would cross it. If you remember that in Zurich Hotel, we could not find a hotel, for those of you who weren't there, couldn't find a hotel room with two beds. So we ended up with one bed, and we had to make sure that neither one of us crossed that line. So Phil taught me that. He also sent Misha and I on an all-expenses trip on the Tahiti Express when we were in Hawaii. And that was a very interesting time. Well, he sat on shore, I think just enjoyed himself watching us getting blown out to sea. We also learned on that same trip in Maui why the tennis courts are so cheap at noon. It was hot, very hot. Another interesting time was when we were in Saint Martin, and the four of us found this beach and thought it'd be great. We all come over this sort of crest to come on down to the beach and realized it's a nude beach. And you've never seen four individuals make a U-turn as quickly as we all did and head back to the car. So Phil was also the chauffeur for us when we went to Italy, Spain, and France. And he did a great job going between the GPS that was mounted on the dash and the MPS, otherwise known as the Miche positioning system, in the back seat. And he somehow managed to navigate between those two and eventually got us to where we were going. So that was well done, Phil. We also learned when we were skiing that going downstairs was actually a lot harder than, in the skiing, that the hardest day of skiing was always the third day, which was an absolute killer. And it was always, we would fall out of bed, literally couldn't move a muscle, and we'd somehow manage to get back up on that hill and keep skiing. So that was some intensive skiing back in those days. And we also learned that if you're in Jackson Hole, you probably shouldn't try and play tennis after you've been skiing all day. It's just not a good idea, okay? No matter how young you are. When we did the Walk of the Gods, another interesting thing that we learned was that going downstairs is a lot harder than going upstairs sometimes. And we found that out in spades. And in fact, the smart thing for us to do would have been to call for an Uber when we finished walking downstairs, because the walk upstairs almost killed us. One of the other things we learned from Phil was how not to get into a kayak at the cottage. And Phil, thank you for that lesson. Let's see. We used to judge the quality of our trips by the number of ski runs that we took or the number of tennis games we played. But that's no longer. In today's world, we judge it by the quality of wine that we buy and the quality of wine that we drink. That's how we judge how good the trips are.
And I would like to add that I always feel very safe traveling with Phil when he's the driver, because I always know that he doesn't go anywhere without his compass, without maps, GPS, and a beer and wine bottle opener. Which brings me to our lunches that we've had in Europe. We are always ready for our lunch with a baguette and wine, and we never know where we're going to have them. It could be at a picnic table by waterfalls, by a river, by fields, vineyards. But one particular one that we loved was kayaking down the Dordogne River and stopping, just floating along, having our wine and baguette. So Phil, thank you for that.
So to sum up, Phil, I'd have to say that for an old guy, you're looking pretty darn good. In fact, I would have said that you don't look a day over 83. So happy birthday from the whole Smith clan, and we look forward to many more trips, adventures, and things to learn from you.
Happy birthday, Philzy.
Happy birthday, Uncle Phil.